surviving quarantine and still loving your family. Yay! This looks good.
It looks good. I like it.
So as you know, we're on week 3 here. And you know, there's been ups and downs for sure. And I think that that's the most important thing that we need to keep in mind is that, you know, this is new territory. And actually, I think I talk about that. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with the slide. So we're home indefinitely. Now what? Okay. And I have my little quote here, inconceivable. I don't know if you know the movie. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means, because that's what this kind of feels like. It feels like, you know, like all of this seems inconceivable, yet here we are in quarantine with our families for an indefinite amount of time. So originally I said surviving quarantine, but I really want to look at this from a thriving perspective, because we want to thrive together. And this is an opportunity for us to do that. So thriving tips: be flexible. And we're going to go through each of these. Cultivate a team mentality. Gratitude is your superpower. Maintain open and honest communication. Prepare your family for anything. Make memories and be kind. Those are the most important things. So let's start. Be flexible. So this is nothing like anything we've ever seen before in our lifetime. I don't know what it was like in the flu pandemic in 1918, I believe it was, but that is irrelevant to any of us because we were not around. So this is new territory. We need to remove any and all expectations of how this experience is supposed to go. So I have here, eliminate the pressure to do. And let me tell you, I personally struggle with that. And Linda knows that, you know, I literally have been running around the house, helping everyone, all the kids and my husband for what he needs because he's not feeling well. And I still felt like I wasn't doing enough because I'm falling behind in certain home aspects. And it's a really strong paradigm. It's a really strong narrative to feel like you have to be doing stuff and that certain amount of things need to be done. The problem is that it just adds to our stress and anxiety, and it adds to the stress and anxiety in our kids too. So if you eliminate the pressure to get things done, then at the very least, you can kind of focus on what needs to be done and then just go with the flow. And so that was the next point. Go with the flow of each day. Not every day is going to look the same. You know, I have shared before, I'm not a routine person. I'm not a schedule person, which is why the first week of being at home when there was schoolwork was very stressful for me, because I was like, do I have to make them do it on a schedule and all of that? And now, if you've heard Linda's presentation on homeschooling, that's certainly released, and I had spoken to her already. It certainly released some of the pressure that I had given to myself of what I needed to do. But each day will look different. And if everybody's healthy at home, that's great. If people are not healthy, that's going to add even more to your day that you may not be expecting. And so go with the flow. See what needs to get done and allow everybody to kind of contribute to the way the day needs to go, because your kids may need different things from you on different days. And the next point is consider that stress and anxiety will affect how things go. So if you're freaking out, or if you're stressed out, or your kids are having a moment and all of a sudden they really miss their friends, that's going to stop your day, because you're going to have to tend to their feelings, and you're going to have to tend to your own feelings. So that is going to throw you for a loop in your day, and you have to be prepared for that. You have to be prepared for any sort of emotional stuff that comes up during this time. That's kind of expected right now, because going back to the beginning, this is nothing like anything we've seen before in our lifetime. So we have to have the expectation that we shouldn't have any expectations, you know, like that we have to kind of surrender to, you know, whatever powerful force that you believe in, and just go through your day like water. right? And you come up against a rock and you just like, float above it or around it, but just understand that the rock is not trying to stop you. It's just there for you to go through. And I came up with this and I was so happy. Do not aim to achieve, but aim to receive. And what that means is, we're always go, 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 do, create, create, create. It's a very, sort of like yin, yeah, world where it's like a very sort of like masculine way of looking at things, of doing business, of running our home. Like that's what we've been doing for so long. We need to sit back and just sort of receive our guidance. Allow yourself to feel inspired. Allow yourself to just sort of get an idea and be like, oh my goodness, why don't we do this? Because when you allow yourself to sort of sit in the present, then you receive inspiration, you receive the ideas, you get creative, and allow your children to lead the way. Because very often, left to their own devices, when they're off their devices, when they're left to their own minds, they will come up with really cool, fun things. And it's a really good opportunity for you to sort of let them lead you. So it's like, don't try to make them achieve anything, but listen and receive their information, their knowledge, their excitement, because that's going to help you, because you're going to sort of live, not that you're living by their rules necessarily, but if you allow them to sort of take the lead, you're going to see dynamics change at home. Okay, so I need to move faster. All right. Cultivate a team mentality. So this is really important, and I live by this at home, okay? We're all in this together. I feel that in the sense of community, and I also feel that at home, and I talk about it all the time. Because if we're all working towards a common goal, then everybody kind of feels like they're a part of something. We need to empower each family member to contribute, right? So give them things to do. Then choose a powerful family GPS word, family GPS word, which we'll cover in the next slide. I'll talk about what that means. And then you pick a family reward. So it's like if you are having a really great day together and everybody's communicating and everybody's, contributing to the whole, then you can say, hey guys, if we have a really great day today, let's, have ice cream in the backyard, or let's watch a movie, or let's, play an hour of Dungeons and Dragons. Whatever it is that you come up with as a family, make that as a reward for when they, when your team wins, because then it gives incentive. And if you have, if your children are concerned, or if you're concerned about what's going on right now, this is a little something about, your team gets through tough times. You've been here before, right? We haven't been in this situation before, but there are definitely things that you've survived as a family. There are definitely things that you can make a list of, whether it's big or small, significant or insignificant, it doesn't matter. But each one of your children and you can come up with a situation that you thought was really tough, and you got through it. And even better, at the moments that you didn't think you'd get through, but your family made it easier. Maybe someone had an audition. Maybe someone had a big project. I think it makes me think of Linda, the project that we did with Joelle when we were there, right? And Linda's daughter had a huge project, and we happened to be visiting her at the time, and we all pitched in to help her do this project. And that's like a beautiful thing to show that together, everyone achieves more, right? Isn't that the team acronym? Together, everyone achieves more. So that's something that I always teach my kids, is that together we can accomplish anything. And that includes getting through this. Okay, so next, the GPS family word. So what it is, and this is something that I teach like a whole workshop of this. So this is like the super fast reader digest version. But if you need more clarification, feel free to reach out to me and I'm happy to go through it. But basically you want to pick a word that is significant for your family. And how you figure out what that word is you focus on the feeling you want to feel. So start with maybe, what is your favorite family memory? This works especially if you have younger kids. If you have older kids, you might be able to say, like, how do you want to feel in the family right now? How do you want to feel at home? And they may see, I want to feel safe. I want to feel loved. I want to feel validated. There's plenty of words. But younger kids might have a harder time figuring out what that is. So I use, start with your favorite family memory. And then you ask maybe, what is your favorite thing to do together? And younger kids can draw a picture. You can just say, hey, why don't you draw a picture of your favorite memory, or draw a picture of your favorite thing to do? And then you kind of probe them. How do those things make you feel? My favorite memory is us going to Disney. Okay, why? What was special about Disney? It made me feel special. Okay, you like feeling special? Yes. Okay, so then you start to kind of find out really what is the core feeling that your child that your child captured. What was so special? Maybe it was that they wanted to go to Disney their whole life and they finally felt that you gave them what they wanted, or that they felt heard or listened to. So maybe it's like, I want to feel like you see me. I want to feel like you hear me. And it's important to do this for every member of the family. That includes you, that includes your spouse or partner if you have one. And when everybody contributes their word, then as a family collectively, you can kind of figure out what is a good word that represents the whole family. And you want to choose a powerful word. So something that encompasses what you want or most need from the family. So for us, we have loving and respectful, right? So you pick, I want to create a loving and respectful environment at home. So that's something that we chose. Well, I kind of forced it on my kids, but that you can choose with your kids. Cause I kind of was like, don't you think it would be more, if it was loving and respectful? But they all agreed that they did want at least the loving aspect. The respectful I pushed, but you can have more than one word. But you really want a word that activates what the family unit needs, because then you can start to use that as part of your daily conversation with them. You can say, hey, is that a loving and respectful decision? Or how can you do that in a more loving and respectful way? So this way it brings you back to that foundation that you have together. And it's easy to kind of bring you back if they're fighting or if things kind of get crazy, and just be like, guys, let's do this in a loving and respectful way so then we can get back to having fun together. Okay, so, excuse me. Let's see. Yes. Gratitude is your superpower. We don't have to focus on this one too much. It's pretty basic, but thank you is the magic word. People will do more if they feel appreciated. People will appreciate you in return. And a loving environment grows in appreciation, right? And this is like for everybody. Everybody. This means even if they're doing things they're supposed to do. Okay, this is super important. If your kids are doing exactly what they're supposed to do, thank them. If your spouse or partner is doing exactly what they're supposed to do, quote unquote, thank them. It doesn't matter if it's their job or you've deemed it their job, or, don't you like to be thanked? Like, if, the greatest gift that I think that we have given our children is that my husband is super, super grateful. Every minute of every day, he thanks me for everything. And I gotta tell you, it makes me just want to do more. I think he's kind of like sneaky that way, because he somehow managed to make me like a beautiful, happy housewife, because he thanks me for everything I do. So it makes me want to do more for him. Well, it works for your kids too. I find that when I thank my children and I talk about all of their good points, they are that much more likely to do more, and they feel good about themselves when they do it. This doesn't just work with the family, but it also works with gratitude in general, right? Energy flows where attention goes. Energy flows where energy goes. Yeah, sure. Okay. Practice gratitude as much as possible. Show your children that you practice gratitude. Now, you guys know everybody in my house has been sick this week. But yet I am still grateful. I'm grateful that my husband is home, not in the hospital. I'm grateful that, you know, the kids are relatively healthy and that they've been able to get over their illnesses pretty quickly. You know, and I tell them out loud, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that it's a beautiful sunny day so I can go to the backyard. You know, lead by example and pointing out your blessings. Okay, the next thing is open and honest communication. Now, this is super important because you have to create a safe space where your kids feel comfortable talking to you about whatever's on their minds. This is serious stuff, and they probably have a lot of questions, and they may be asking them or they might not be. But you have to make it the type of situation where they can feel comfortable asking you no matter what it is. So everyone should feel as though they can speak freely. Everyone's feelings should be validated. Even if you think it's something silly, it doesn't matter. It's not silly to them. So you say, okay, I know that, you know, whatever it is, you want to go to the store and buy another, you know, pop, or, and we can't, and that's frustrating, you know, and it may be your inclination to be like, are you kidding me? There's people outside that are sick and you're talking about going to the store and buying something else. You know, like, it seems insignificant to us, but for them, it's kind of like the thing that they need to grasp at. So we have to keep that in mind, that sometimes what seems to be a way, like when their focus seems to be kind of frivolous, it's actually a way for them to control their day. And it's important for us to validate those feelings, even if they don't make sense to us. Everyone's concerns should be discussed, and all solutions are welcome without judgment. So if somebody comes up with an idea to, you know, solve whatever problem's happening at home, you listen with an open heart. And don't judge what they say, because that's what they came up with. And if you always listen with an open heart, they will be willing to contribute their thoughts and ideas. And maybe the first 10 aren't, you know, like usable, but maybe that 11th is like, oh my God, that's brilliant. I love that you came up with that. And they will never stop making suggestions as long as they feel that their suggestions are being heard. And the other thing is, tell the truth. I mean, tell the flippin' truth, people. Let's not lie to our children. Let's not candy coat crap. Okay. I mean, sure, age appropriate conversation. It's, you know, like, obviously there's certain things you're not going to tell a 3-year-old that you would tell a 12-year-old, but be honest with your kids. They can sense your energy. If you're concerned, you don't have to say the world is over. I'm, you know, like, you don't want to take your, you know, your attention to them, but you do want to be open and honest and say, you know what, we're living in an uncertain time. We don't know what's happening right now, but you're safe. I love you. We'll figure it out, and it's okay. And knowing that, that's the other thing. You don't need to know the answers. You don't need to have them. It's not your job to have all the answers, because sometimes there aren't answers. And that in itself is a lesson for your kids to learn. Be like, guys, I don't know. My kids are like, when are we going back to school? I was like, I don't know. You know, they told us April 1st or whatever it was. I was like, but I can't say that we really know what's happening. But we're here, we're in this together, and we can get through it. Okay, the other thing is, prepare your family for anything. And, you know, what this means is, don't shy away from tough conversations, right? Educate your children about what is happening. Like, give them what's really happening, as I said, in an age-appropriate way. Teach them how they can prepare themselves so they can feel safe. You know, it's like, okay, well, we need to, you know, wear gloves and masks when we go outside. My kids aren't going outside because, you know, our house is bitten the way it is, but they play in the backyard. And I've said to them, you can't go to the front yard. And this is why. You got to stay in the backyard. We got to stay away from people. We don't want to get anybody sick. And they understand. And because we've been sick, it also opened up the opportunity for me to kind of teach the kids how to take care of themselves if I go down. So my husband's down, and if I go down the way he's went down, I'm not going to be able to get up and feed them and take care of them in the way that I have been. So I literally taught my children how to load and unload the dishwasher, how to make sandwiches, where I taught them where all the things are in the pantry and the freezer, and where they can get extra supplies, and and you may not have even, maybe your children already know this, and that's awesome, but there's a lot of things that I think we do for our children that they don't even know where this simple stuff is. Like, I don't remember, I asked one of my kids for, oh, can you go get this? And they were like, huh, where's that? And I was like, God, I'm terrible. Like, you don't know where that is. It's because I haven't shown you. And you may find yourself, you know, not telling your kids everything, but now's the time. Show them where everything is. Show them where the fire extinguisher is. Show them, like I taught them how to feed the dog because he eats like special food. So I taught them like how to like measure the food out properly. And you should choose, each person should have a job or a method of contribution. And this can happen at any age, where each one of them is in charge of something. So I have my oldest, because he's taller, is unloading the dishwasher. And, I have my middle son is loading the dishwasher, and my youngest likes to wash the stuff that's left over. So they're working together as a team, and, then they can switch. But now all of a sudden, I went from nobody ever cleaning up to now my boys having certain things that they do every day. I've been trying to do this for years, but it happened now because of the situation. So this is a wonderful opportunity to make them feel like they're contributing to the whole, and it goes back to cultivating a team mentality. Okay, hold on. Make memories, people. This is an opportunity. Okay, and Linda covered so much of this, but I will touch on this. Teach your children a new skill. Make quarantine art, like have everybody sit down and collaborate. I love, Linda made the suggestion of a family crest. What a great idea. Play games with their rules. I mean, kids always come up with their own rules for everything, and usually you're like following the real rules of stuff, but it's like, why don't you just play a game with the rules that they made up, as long as all three agree, in my case, otherwise it becomes a fight. But, play the games that they've come up with their rules. Do science experiments and let them get messy. I mean, I hate when my kids get messy. It really drives me crazy, but I've been trying to allow them to do certain things, or we'll take it outside so that at least if it's a mess, I know we can clean it up easier. Because these are the memories that they're going to have of this experience. And listen to their dreams with complete attention. And I say this because they want our attention all the time, and we are always so busy. And I say that I work from home and I still am so busy because I'm on my computer, and everything I need to do in front of this screen. But this quarantine has has forced me to be like, I need to give them the attention that they need and listen with my full and open heart to their ideas, their dreams, or even their description of some crazy game on their iPad that I have no interest in. But if I show interest in it now, then when they're in high school or older, then they're going to share with me the really bigger and more important stuff. And that's something that we can establish now during this time. And more importantly, we show them that this experience actually created a bunch of awesome memories as opposed to a ton of stress. And help them help others. We had this conversation yesterday about maybe they want to help, maybe they feel helpless too. So come up with things that you can do, like writing letters to a senior home, or making baby blankets, as Linda had said, or whatever it is. Let them figure out a way to help others, and then make it a family project, and that will create a beautiful memory. And the last thing is, be kind. It's kindness matters. And we actually created a kindness reminders chart. Well, I created it and I had my kids read it. And, my oldest was like, please don't make it seem like school. But, but we did. I created a kindness reminder so that I can just show them, let's remember to be super kind. And you know what? It doesn't apply just to other people, but applies to yourself. You need to be kind with yourself during this time. You are entitled to feel anything and express anything, but you must do so in a kind and loving manner. That goes for you, moms, dads, caretakers, and kids. You can feel whatever comes up, and you can express anything that needs to be expressed, but do it in a kind and loving way. And know that kindness leads to more kindness. And so here we go. Stay home and thrive. I like this little encouragement. That was very cute. Okay, so be flexible, cultivate a team mentality. Remember that gratitude is your superpower. Have open and honest communication, and prepare your family for anything. Make beautiful memories and be kind to each other. And that's it. I think that, if you kind of go through this, hopefully you will be able to get through this quarantine with a more loving and connected family than ever before.
I love that. And thank you for the wrap up at the end, because I think that was, it's nice to see it all together like that. And it helps so much. I think those are like pillars of sanity saving. They're like sanity saving tips, because, you know, otherwise, and they're simple. That's what I like about them. It's like, it makes it feel like it's not so hard.
Yeah, it's true.
You know?
And I think there's hard moments, and you know, like I created this and I believe in it, and I had my children read it because I was like, does mommy do this? I just want to confirm that I do this before I tell people to do this. And they laughed at me, of course, because I do talk about it. But some days are easier than others, and some days go better than others, and some days you still have freakouts. And that's why the kindness part is important, because some days you're going to have a rough time, because these are really rough times.